I'm Doug Sprinthal at Bloomington Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram on Penn Avenue, just south of 494 in beautiful sunny Bloomington. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite vehicles, the Jeep Grand Cherokee Overland. I got to give you a little bit of history lesson because this is really the only multicultural vehicle sold in America today. What does that mean? Well, it was really designed by 3 different companies. So Chrysler, the designers designed the body, but about 11 years ago, Chrysler also was a partner of Daimler Mercedes, the company that owns Mercedes-Benz. The partnership didn't really work out because the Germans didn't understand Americans' fascination with Hemi-powered trucks. So they took off, but the Chrysler engineers swiped a pretty nice piece of engineering from them. It was the platform for what would become the ML and the GL series. So you've got American design, you've got German suspension, and the last part is the Italian engine. So Chrysler was on the blocks after the recession. Fiat came in and said, you know, we really like this brand. Actually, they loved the Jeep brand. They said that the most powerful brands that they had were Ferrari and Jeep. So they'd been working on a new V6 engine. The Chrysler engineers got their hands on it and built what is today called the Pentastar 3.6 liter variable valve timing V6 engine. Just about 300 horsepower in its normal trim, made it to an 8-speed transmission, gives you all kinds of power. There are a lot of power options with this. You can get a Hemi, you can actually get a supercharged Hemi if you need a 707 horsepower Grand Cherokee. I think I need one. I'm not sure I can afford it. Anyway, let's see what's special about this vehicle. I mean, it really is a beautiful car. There's some great safety features. The upper trims like this one come standard with adaptive cruise control. You'll see a little radar thing here. And what that means is you can set the cruise control and it will basically follow the car that you're following. So if you set it at 70 and that car suddenly slows down to 65, you don't have to shut the cruise off. The car will do it for you. It's a really cool thing. Lane departure alert, it will tell you if you're veering out of your lane because it has camera sensors up here. This vehicle could possibly drive itself, although I wouldn't really recommend it. Stay in the front seat. People will freak out if they see a Jeep going down the road with nobody behind the wheel. Could do it, not saying you should. Let's look on the inside. This is the Overland. This comes in a bunch of, the Grand Cherokee comes in Limiteds, Overlands, Summits, bunch of different options. There's trim packages within trim packages. Too hard to explain in a short video. You really got to stop down to the dealership to check it out. The Overland is near the top. Heated and ventilated seats. You can see that's what the stitching is in there. Overland stitch into the headrest. Piano black dash, which I really like. It looks cool and it cuts down on the glare. If you look here in the door panel, in addition to the standard window controls, notice this brand name, Harman Kardon. This thing has an awesome audio system in it. It's got tweeters up here and down here as well, and the same thing in the back seat, as we'll see later. Actually, we'll see right now. More of the Harman Kardon stereo features. The sound systems on these are incredible. You have a split fold rear seat, really easy to get it down, just this lever here. Even the headrest folds down flat. In the center stack, right under the AC and heat vents, you've got some power options for kids, USB, 12 volt, so on and so forth. Let's move around to the back of the car and talk a little bit more about safety. These are backup sensors. It has a camera integrated right in here. This has park assist, lane departure assist, also cross body detection. So if you're backing up and you're looking over your right shoulder that way and something's coming along this way, it'll alert you on the dashboard. Put on the brakes, there's something back there. It's really great. Power liftgate, you wouldn't expect anything less. Here is sort of a rarity, becoming a rarity in the automotive world. Some cars have no spares. Some cars have many spares. This actually has a full-size spare tire, which is really cool. Some hidden storage options. And you also have a privacy curtain, should you have stuff back there that you don't want people to see. And we've got the subwoofer on the right side panel. Again, part of this massive stereo system. Comes standard with a Class 2 receiver. This can tow up to 7,500 pounds. You've got a couple of different hitch options here. That's kind of the conventional one. And if you have the round style, it goes in there too, so you can get them both. Overland comes standard with 20-inch polished wheels and tires. A really nice look. There are some optional wheels available if you want to customize your vehicle to your own self. Keyless remote as you would expect, along with auto start, power lift gate, lock and unlock. This also has dual memory seats, so you can program them for driver 1 or driver 2. You can actually program the remotes to the memory, so just walk up to the car, it knows what memory seat to set the seat and the mirrors to. It's really a great feature. In addition to being a gorgeous automobile, this has some serious off-road capabilities as well. All right, welcome to the inside of the 2019 Jeep Grand Cherokee Overland. There's a lot of cool features in here. Let's start up here with the top rack. This has got a panoramic moonroof in it. You can open it up, you can tilt the front panel easily. It's got garage door openers as you would expect, power lift gate. Here you've got some emergency features, SOS. It ties the vehicle directly into Chrysler's Uconnect system where you can summon emergency vehicles if you need, or roadside assistance. Really kind of handy. Center stack there's a lot of stuff to go over here. It's got a conventional radio setting, which I really like this because you can do it with your fingers on the 8.1-inch touchscreen, or you can use the old school buttons here for volume and tuning. As we move across here, standard what you would expect media inputs. You've got Bluetooth, auxiliary, a couple of USB ports, so on and so forth. The climate system, again, you can control from here. Heated and ventilated front driver and passenger seat, heated driver steering wheel. You can also control the climate control conventionally from here if you'd rather do that. It just gives you some options. In the apps, some really kind of cool stuff. They've got travel link. This will give you up-to-date weather information, closest gas station, so on and so forth. If you want to, Projection Manager will allow you to tie this system into either an Android phone or an iPhone and use a lot of the capabilities in those phones, such as voice to search. You can use Google Maps if you'd rather use that rather than the factory navigation systems. Really kind of a cool system, very easy to integrate. It's going to become very important to have something like that as the laws change in Minnesota in regards to hands-free driving. Controls are here. You've got heated driver's seat, heated wheel, just as I said before. Navigation system is here. And the phone pairing, this used to be a real pain 7 or 8 years ago. It never really worked very well. The Chrysler engineers have worked out all the bugs. It takes about 30 seconds to pair a phone to the system, which is really kind of cool. Now we're going to get into some super special features. Do you have any family members that don't know how to parallel park? You got to get them this. You push this button, it will parallel park or perpendicular park. Because of all the sensors on the outside of the vehicle, it's really cool in action. Lane departure warning. There again, if you're driving and you veer out of a lane, it will notify you that you're doing that. You can turn that feature off if you want. Sport and traction control. If you get stuck, as most Minnesota drivers know, you want to turn off the traction control. All right, this system is what makes a Jeep a Jeep. Most vehicles in this category do not give you any control over the all-wheel drive system. Not so with the Grand Cherokee. The Quadra-Track 2 system, 2-speed transfer case right here, a hill descent control, and this is my favorite here. This rotary button will adjust the suspension and the traction system to the surface that you're driving on in an off-road situation, whether it's snow, sand, mud, or rock, or if you just want to leave it on auto and it can make it kind of a best guess. Over here, this is really cool, and I've seen this on $100,000 Land Rovers, but not on cars that most people can afford. This has over 11 inches of suspension travel. If you have kids or shorter passengers in there when you park, you can drop the suspension down a little over an inch to make it easier to get in and out. If you're going through deep puddles like we've experienced in the winter in Minnesota, you can hit the up button. It'll raise the vehicle up a little over 10 inches to get you through those puddles without flooding the vehicle. It's a really, really cool feature. In addition to that, 8-speed transmission, you can drive it as sort of a semi-automatic just by moving the shifter over and you can shift the gears yourself if you want to do that. When we move on to the center system, this is the adaptive cruise control. You can set the distance that it senses the vehicle at from this wheel. This is how you turn on the cruise control system. Whole host of menu options here so you can customize the display to what you want to see. Tire pressure, We'll be here forever. Change the speedometer to kilometers if you happen to be in Canada. Store messages, all kinds of stuff. Fuel economy, Jeep traction settings, all that sort of stuff is available at the touch of your fingers. You can set it up to see the stuff that you really want to and just ignore the stuff that you don't. So that's a quick overview of the 2019 Jeep Grand Cherokee Overland Edition. Loaded with features that normally you'd spend $100,000 to get. We've got a ton of them in stock. These are our most popular selling vehicles at Bloomington, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram. We're on Penn Avenue, just south of 494. You can check us out online at bloomingtoncjd.com, but you really got to stop in and drive one of these because they are great.